right, great. So, and I'm going to type this in real quick. Simply.
So, yeah. And just mention as you type it in that the first one was incorrect. We have another question. It says, how much time do you think the average DIYer spend researching their vacation before finally making their deposit? The internet is a time sink that I don't think the average consumer takes into consideration. And that's so true, because it takes a lot of time, because you are searching and checking different sites maybe for recommendations. And so how would you answer that? How much time do you think the average person?
Oh gosh. I think it depends on how diligent they are. I mean, I've seen people that have come into me with like a ream of paper printed. Wow. Almost, and just said, this is what we found, and I don't know what to do with it. And they're just so overwhelmed. So the thing is that, you can try to plumb your sink or your toilet yourself and do the plumbing, or you can call a professional to get it done, have it done in a timely manner, and then have a resource to go to if it starts to leak again. The same thing with a wedding planner. You and your Aunt Susie can take care of everything and make all the hors d'oeuvres and everything yourself. Or you can have the professional wedding planner take care of it and let you enjoy yourself. That's, we're providing a service here. You only have a finite amount of time. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day. We don't get any more than that. We all live different spans of our lifetime is different. And so we only have so much of this valuable resource. And if you get a professional and you're going to pay for that, you can always, work a few more hours, sell a few more somethings if you're a commission-based agent, have a yard sale. You can always make more money. You cannot always make more time.
That's a great response to that question, because a lot of times we don't think about that. You're just thinking about right this moment.
Right now, you're not looking at the big picture. Exactly.
So that's great. So let's do a little review while our recording is on. And we just kind of want to go over some of the reasons why to use a travel agent. And I'll start with one or two, and then I'll let Trish, you answer some as we kind of do a little review. So one is the expert guidance. Agents are trained experts and know how to sort through the myriad of travel information available. They spend all day, as Trish said, we spend many hours researching the best possible vacation options for our clients. And we have more knowledge than you can garner from an online research. And then second, I would say that we are internet interpreters, that we understand the complex codes and internet jargon and know how to make sense of it all.
That's right. And we get, if you come to us with a deal or an offer, one of the very valuable things that we can do for you is to evaluate that. We can tell you, that is a scam. That is not what you're going to get. Or, we both know, and Eva, I know that you know this too, that a property that was great 5 years ago or 10 years ago can totally be not a good property today, or vice versa, because things are always changing. And because we are in communication and network with each other, I can say to Eva, I was kind of concerned about this property, but I just sent my customers there and they had a great time. Or I can say, oh, you guys, I just put somebody in this property and this has happened. You might want to watch out if you've got clients going there. We share that information because we're in a community and we network together, and you don't get that on the internet. So, but we're also looking out for your best interest while you're traveling. We give you tips and hints along the way. Some of us are accessible, a lot longer than the normal 9 to 5 kind of a business. Is that correct for you?
That's correct. And we don't have long hold times. You don't hold on for hours. And
that's right. And then that's the other thing is if you do have some kind of a delay, like a weather delay, like a crazy volcano in Iceland that would blow its top and cause airline delays forever. And people were waiting online for hours and hours and hours to get through the airline. Well, I do so much business with like Delta and American and some of the other airlines. I have a special desk a preferred desk. I mean, I still had to wait because it was really, really busy. But I bet if we both picked the phone up and dialed at the same time, I'm going to be talking to somebody before the average Joe.
That's absolutely true.
It's connections.
Right. And we save you time. That was one of the things that we mentioned. And convenience. Travel agents are a one-stop shop. We can handle every aspect of your vacation or your business event, from airline tickets to lodging to transfers to some of the excursions that you're going to do. And we have preferred suppliers that are time-tested so that when you go on an excursion or you're going on a trip, we have someone to stand behind what you do. And for me personally, I use companies that have 24/7 support. So if you're, for example, I had a client that went to Greece, and they had an issue. They called me. I was able to answer. It was during the day, but they had a 24/7 number of someone who was in country, not here in the U.S., in the country that they're going to be in, so that if something occurs or they have a need, there is someone there to take care of them. And that's one of the benefits that we provide as a travel consultant.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we provide you with added value. We talked about that. We give you professional advice, personalized service.
Yes, a lot of people don't know documentation that they're going to need. A lot of people, that are going to go, for me, since I do a lot of international travel, mostly international and the majority to Europe, we talk about things like global entry versus TSA pre-check, and, let them know that instead of just doing the TSA pre-check, go ahead and do the global entry. It's $15 more, and it's still good for the 5-year time period. But as part of global entry, you get TSA pre-check. And then when you go out of the country and come back in, you're pre-screened through customs. You just type it in on a kiosk and you go on. And, let them know the difference between those things and help them navigate this versus that. Do you need to have a visa? How many pages are left? Right. And, how long is the big thing right now is that a lot of people don't realize that some countries require that your passport be valid for 6 months after the end of your trip. And some people just say, yeah, my passport is valid, I'm going to go. But if you don't have that, the most restrictive is 6 months from the end of your trip. Some countries just say, as long as it's good when you come in, some say 3 months, some say 1 month. So you just really need to check. But if you pay for your trip and you get your travel insurance and you think you're good to go and you go be bopping up and you've got a passport that is valid but will not meet the entry requirements for the country that you're going in, you have just made a very, very costly mistake. And no travel insurance is going to cover you because you don't have the proper documents to enter a country. That is not a covered reason.
And beyond that, imagine the emotional stress that you planned for this trip. You're looking forward to it. You made all these arrangements. Everybody's taking care of it home. The house is done. You're in the car. You're at the airport, and you can't go. So yes, those are things to consider. And we're not trying to scare you. No. But we're just trying to share with you the benefits and save you time. That's that time saver and the money.
That's right. That's right. And I know that for the way that I work with my business is I take everybody that's going to be traveling on the trip into consideration. So if I've got a mother and a father and a 15-year-old, when I'm planning, I'm trying to not only do the things that the adults are going to enjoy, I also know that this child is going, and I try to incorporate some things that are going to be interesting to them, because what I have found over 23 years of doing this is that if you're traveling with a child, young or teenagers, if they're miserable, everybody's going to be miserable. They're going to do their best to make everybody upset, and it's just the way of the world. So if I can do things and arrange things like for smaller children, we do museums during the morning when everybody's got a little bit more energy, and then we, do less things in the afternoon where the kids can run free or play, or we do family-friendly cooking lessons or things that the kids are going to be able to be involved in, right. Not just they're getting drugged from one museum to the other and not able to burn any energy off.
Okay. We have another question. Next time on your question, if you could put the Q and the slash, because you're learning and I'm learning too. It ends up in the question box, and it's easier for everyone to see. But your question is, we always farm out the things we don't want to do, landscaping, housework, cooking, etc., because of the labor involved and the time involved. But because of our romance with travel, people don't consider the significant amount of time involved to get the final booking stage. And pleasing everyone in the family, which is what Trish mentioned. Yes. So handling it over to a travel agent lets you spend more time with the family, enjoying the anticipation in your upcoming vacation, and less time with the stress actually planning it. Thanks for that, Galen.
Yes,
that's so true.
Absolutely. Yes, because if we're doing those things, you can spend your time enjoying and let us handle the grunt work. Let us do that. We most of us enjoy doing that, and get a great satisfaction from creating a lovely trip for somebody, or knowing that we've given them the best possible help and care, so that then their family can connect and make these memories that they're going to have forever, that they're going to be talking about, every time they get together for a Thanksgiving or a Christmas or an Easter or a birthday. And then they're going to have things that they're going to laugh about. It's going to build and build. It's going to be epic. And the kids are going to be telling the grandkids, right. and down the road about the time that Grandma and Grandpa took them to wherever. And it just gets a life of its own. And the memories are the priceless thing.
Yeah.
And, let us help you with that and take that burden off your shoulders, so that then you can really immerse yourself in your family and enjoy it without having to, have in the back of the mind, if something happens, so like, I'm calling Eva. I don't know what that is. I'm calling Eva. I'm calling Trish.
Right.
Trish, you said it was going to be like that. That's not what happened. What do I do? Rather than trying to navigate all of that on your own, I say, oh, crud, let me do that for you. That wasn't supposed to happen. Let me fix that.
Right.
Okay, it's done. Okay, thanks. I'm going to go on to dinner with my family.
Right.
It's a different experience. Things that are just could be an inconvenience and an irritation. If you've got a travel advisor, can really be debilitating if you're trying to do it on your own and it's not something you work in every day.
Right. And if you have a problem while you're on your trip, that you don't have to worry about spending hours focusing on that. You can place a call to the travel consultant, or a lot of times in my case, the number that I give you when you book your trip, that 24/7 number, you're going to call that number and you're going to go on with what you're doing, and they're going to get back to you, and you have somebody taking care of it, and you're not focused on that, and it's taking away from your time with your loved one, or if you are a business owner or a coach and doing a seminar, you're not worrying about the issue, because you can get back to taking care of your business and know that we've got it handled. We've had somebody that just joined. Her name is Sheila Davis, and this is her first day on Blab. So welcome, Sheila. Welcome to the Blab. We are kind of wrapping up We have been talking about, why use a travel agent. What are some of the benefits? We've also shared just a little bit about ourselves and our businesses. And so if you have a question, you can put a Q in the comment box with a slash and ask your question, and we'll be happy to try to answer that in the last few the minutes that we have left on the Blab. We plan on ending in a little bit.
So you had started to ask me what kind of trips that I liked to plan after I'd asked you what your favorite thing to do was. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to take this moment while nobody's asked a question, and I'm going to answer that. I love to custom design itineraries and trips for people because it's like putting together a puzzle. And you may have an idea of what it's going to look like when you start it, but as you're putting the pieces together, not always are they going to come together like you think that they might. You'll put a piece in and it doesn't work, so you'll take that out and you'll put it in something else. And I get a huge amount of satisfaction when we get it all finished and we look at this, that we had an idea of what it was going to look like, but when we finally get to see the way it turned out, it may not be the way we imagined at the very beginning, but it's always so beautiful. Mm-hmm. Because we've taken the time to make sure that everything is in the process and everything is taken care of. And then when I'm going over everything with the client at the end, I just pretend like I'm going on that trip. I do that from the very beginning of the trip anyway. I just pretend like I'm the one going. So I'm always asking myself, what's next? What then? How does that work? And so when we get it all put together and I go over it with the client, we do a run through and I'll tell them, okay, I'm going to have you picked up at your home and we're going to take you to the airport. And then you're going to check in for your flights. And then when you get off the plane, you're going to have somebody standing with a sign. Oh, my favorite thing is a person with a sign in a foreign country. But, I tell them they're going to do that and you're going to go here. And then this is kind of what's going to happen. You've got this free time. Or you have an option that you can choose from. And we just go over and make sure that they know kind of what's happening. And then I say, if this happens, do this. If this should come up, do this, and just kind of prepare them a little bit. But that's like my favorite trip is planning for either a family with teenagers or a couple of sets of couples. I love to do that, and then I absolutely love escorting trips because when we're traveling and the people that I escort a lot of times have not traveled very much. And I just love the sense of wonder and excitement, seeing it through their eyes. Because honestly, I've been doing it for 23 years. I'm a little jaded sometimes, but being with people and getting to watch them and enjoy them experiencing something that you love and seeing it in a new way. I love that. I mean, such a great thing.
That's the fun of booking so much travel. And sometimes it's a frustration because you're like, oh, this sounds so good. I wish I could get you to go with them.
Always living vicariously through the next trip we're planning. Yes.
I put my website in the comments, and then Galen from Fincher's Adventures, who's a travel consultant, he has a comment. He says, while DIYers are looking for the perfect vacation online for the family, they forget that maybe their preteens want more to do than just lay in a lounge chair by the beach. Travel professionals do make sure that we have given clients the best options for the whole family, taking all members and ages into consideration. We solve travel problems you never knew you had. I like that, Galen. We solve travel problems that you never knew you had, and it's so true. It's true. Even in that example where I said the young lady had a group and she asked me to help, and then when I looked at what she had booked, it's like she should have had so many amenities, but she had nothing because she didn't know what she didn't know, and so that's a great tagline there. We solve travel problems you never knew you had. So we're coming to the top of the hour. I want to thank Galen for hopping in and giving us some comments, and for Elizabeth and the different people who have joined, and I know she had to leave. And Sean, you tried to make it, but that's okay. There's always next time. Technology, sometimes we have technology and it doesn't always work as it should, but that's okay. Just thanks for trying. And of course, Trish, thank you so much for joining the Blab and making it so special. I really appreciate you. And
thank you.
Oh, you're lovely. You're welcome. Any last minute advice or word to those who are listening in terms of travel, just in general, or something that you want to share?
I would say that travel has been so meaningful for me. It's been, something that has been part of my life since I was born, because my father was in the military. The people that you get to meet, the things that you get to experience that are different from here, it's a great way to open your eyes and gain new perspective. You can weigh the way that they do it here versus the way we do it back at home. And isn't that strange, or isn't that interesting? But it really does help you grow as a person to see that and be able to question a little bit, some different things. I am a great lover of the United States, but I also love Europe and the culture and the history and the architecture and the wine and the food. So, when you travel, it's not going to be the same as where you are at home. So keep that in your mind. Be open-minded about it. Just because they don't do it the way we do it here doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's the way they do it. You want to be respectful to the culture. Try, if it's a foreign language, try to make sure that you've learned a few words. Thank you and please, and be polite. Use your manners. Smile. A smile will get you so far. But go with an open mind, and then bring back something good from that. Leave a nice impression of our country with other people. But definitely travel, and don't let world circumstances keep you from living your life, because you make the decision. God gives us an intuition, and if we listened to that and used common sense, the world would be so much better off. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I have personally felt funny or had that inkling that maybe this isn't good, and I've moved forward anyway. And afterwards I thought, I knew if we would listen to that in our everyday life and in our travel lives, we would all be better off. But travel. Everybody should travel.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that. That was one thing that we wanted to talk about, was based on the things that are going on in the world, should we reconsider travel and just stay home? And you answered that.
Yeah, I think that it's everybody's individual choice, and I'm never going to judge somebody. If I have a client that calls and says, Trish, I just can't go. I'm going to do what I can for those people and then help them, because that's what I signed up for. That's what I committed to. And I'm not going to judge them. I personally am going to be escorting a river cruise in the Bordeaux region of France, and I'm flying through Paris. And did it give me a moment that I thought, mm-hmm. Yeah, it really did. But then I thought, okay, these are the facts, and stuff is happening all over the world, including the United States, including Chattanooga, Tennessee, 5 to 10 minutes away from where my mother lives. Okay. So, I'm just I'm a person of faith. I believe that when God is ready for me, it's not going to matter if I'm sitting here in Montgomery, Alabama, or if I'm someplace wonderful. Not that Montgomery is not wonderful. I'm not from here originally. I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But I think that if I, use my judgment, and then, like I said, if I get that gut feeling of this is not, then I'm gonna heed that. But for now, I don't have that. And I will be going. I will be leading my river cruise group in Bordeaux, and we're going to make it as wonderful a time as we can.
Well, again, thank you for sharing. And that's, I believe too, that God is in control. And, when it's your time, it's your time. And the travel is just can be such an amazing gift to kind of leave where you are, your norm, and go to someplace different, someplace new, go to a different country and a different city, and experience the people and the blessings that are there awaiting you. So again, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you to those replay viewers who come in. We thank you for joining us. Thank you, Galen, Elizabeth, Sean, for popping in. And I always like to end my broadcast with a word of encouragement. So I'm going to tell you to have a blessed day and take time to be a blessing to someone else. Bye.
Absolutely.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.